I don't know what happened to Edith. She was at the railway station and in Budapest, and she was trying to get a train, but it was too expensive. So I said, go back to Nethergate, so we get a bus. And basically, I looked at the times on the computer, and the next free bus is on the 28th of August. And that's what I'm trying to wait. She's still in the bay, the ticket. And so I did tell the local police who are assisting the police there helping to edit her out if they could. I don't know what's happened. She's quite sick. She has Bubonic and the spots all over her body, so it's not good for her. And she just needs an antibiotic, and she's very infective, so she could die herself, quite serious. So she needs treatment. And he said she had VD, and so I don't think she went to the VD clinic, which was in Szeged. She could have done. And they did a round, but I think that she was probably raped before she could get there. And she's been very, very injured. Hopefully she'll come home, but we need to wonder. She would work for a while, but since this is her case, she was very vulnerable. She's not really, though she's attractive, she looks young, she isn't really. She's a married woman, she'll be left alone. But the people she was with in respect, I don't understand this, about respect for men. And I think I was the people next door. I think the lady who was a mother of the young woman I hurt was next door, and she had a text message to say that her daughter was spontaneous return to life, and well, she wasn't dead. I think the CP was really waters her set in, so she wasn't dead, and so there was some circulation going on, and she spontaneously recovered basically. And she was having a cup of tea and talking to the surgeon, so that's a happy ending. It's sad. Someone do that. But hopefully she won't attempt to lobotomise us. She fell on thieves, basically, like a lot of people go to the Baptist church and come fell on thieves, or a rubber set over there. So that's hopeful. Anyway, it's a sad world. But anyway, the other thing, I've got the transducer. I was looking at the little one. I had to scrap it because the wire is broken and there's no way to recover it. So it was too tight to the body of this car, so I just ran away. But I was going to order some more to get tube. I've got another little bobbins, and I need one wire. And make another one, in upwards of 8,000 tons, so it doesn't take much. And that can be done on the winding machines. I've still got the coil winding turn. I lost one of the sizes, but that's not used very often. And I've got another coil to wind, so I do this one at a time. And then I'm going to get the large transducer, which is behind me, which you can see on my right shoulder. This contains it's got a lot of terms, 100 resonant inductance. It's more than 20 Henrys. It's about 40 Henrys. And I want another coil, another winding on it, another winding. And they're 16 pounds each. That's one. It's not I could afford it once. I've got my money. Well, I still need it, so if she's coming home, she may not be necessary. She should get Social Security because she was injured, but she wasn't when she went out. She's a sick woman. She's the most employed, so she can't work. Well, she can do something, but she's really got no idea. So mind is so destroyed by the sex trafficking, so she can't work. She writes scribbles instead of writing. She has improved, and she could improve. I think they started teaching her to write or read and write again. She needs that sort of treatment. And she used to be able to read, and she likes books, but because of what they did to her, she can't read. So I don't know what they did. They started the doctors did it. It was the sex traffickers. I don't know. The sex traffickers damaged to raise as well, you know. She told me she's seen it done, and that's appalling. the sex traffickers supporting criminals. It appears some of them are in modern terms. And they think it's a joke to hurt a woman. Just think it's a joke. Well, I don't. I did one time, like most young men, you do hurt women, and then you realise when you see them that they are hurt, and you lay off and you stop. Because that's the difference. You see the pain, you stop. And so that's the difference. And money helps as well. And I wasn't high income, so I was able to keep them alive. And even if they got pregnant, I took out insurance in case of problems with birth, so they would be all right. I couldn't always afford an income for them, but sometimes I did, because they wouldn't allow me to marry them. So, but they needed to be looked after, and so I did help. I got them when they went it's always taken from me. But jealous people, basically, they're just jealous. They think I'm a socialist, but in fact I'm an entrepreneur, and I make money. And I try to make it ethically, to benefit people. Some people don't do that, just make money. For money, but for money, but it's not true. People do things for money, but it's ethical money. You do things in such a way to benefit people, and that's the honest trader is like that. You read the Bible, the honest trader. Jesus was known as the honest trader, the honest Jew, you know. Well, I think quite a lot of Jews are honest too, of course, but they've got a very nasty streak. They have culture. One of the things the Jews say is that this is mine, because I said it was. If we take it from me, I'll cut your throat. That sort of culture is Yiddish. That's a nasty thing. But to a certain extent, ownership is just grabbing and holding up. But to defend your rights. But that's pretty awful. And the people who are abandoning citizens in South Africa shouldn't share things, and if it's hard to secret, we should keep it secret. And if all revealed it, that's what he's like. Well, it's not true. You're not making profit from something that you know and other people don't. You have to reveal it. Can't do it. I've known people who have great inventions, and I've met them, and they won't reveal what it is because they're afraid others will copy it. Well, of course it can't make money unless somebody copies it. And some people do copy it and take it from you, but you can't do anything with it if you keep it yourself. And I know some of my ex-friends knew about this machine, and they wanted it for themselves to make money. Well, I think they did actually have sort of paid up for a short-wave transmitter as an amplifier, I think, but it just started by itself. But I don't know what they did, but they're right to do that. But I did show it to them. That's what happened. Money's awfully precious, you know. People compete over these things. But I don't know what they've done. They may have carried on with the money, I don't know. But it could be used as a basis of a transmitter, but it's not established accurate. And it's noisy, so it's probably not suitable. It could be used as a power source to a radio. But at a different frequency. I'm trying to make these things right, much higher frequencies. The big one I've got behind me is supposed to, I do work locally about probably 10 to 100, 10 to 100 hertz. I can't make it on 50 hertz very easily because they've got a capacitor and that wasn't like that would reduce the watches and so you can't use it. But you've got to do all sorts of things. I did some calculation. And it has also, because it has self-capacitors as well, which is quite high. So you can't use a capacitor. And I've no way of, I did try to calculate the capacitors, self-capacitors, but I think they do it as a wire, two wires together. I can't remember. But I don't have to do the calculation, it doesn't work anyway. What you've got to do is to measure the resonant frequency and then work out the equivalent capacitors so it's distributed. That's what we're doing to work out. And it's inductors actually it appears to be a tune circuit. It's a resonant circuit where these two waves going in different directions, opposite directions. So you get a standing wave. It's a sound like a Duffin pipe or an organ pipe, and the brains. See that one? I'm just tired of them dropping. I'm just tired. So what happens when you get worried about something that occupies the mind? It's called a thetan. You get worried like that. You've got fear, worry, and so that's why. That's what's worrying me. I can't bother my mind to the Sergeant of the Church can take away thetans, and it helps. But thetans do disturb you. It's a process running the brain, which occupies computing time. So the brain multitasks. So occupies some of the brain. I'm pretty upset. I'll get better. I'm worried about eating now. What happened? And this coil was a resonance of frequency. But there's two ways of direction. The actual way, the actual coil is a slow waveguide. So the wave follows the coil around, and so it's actually quite slow. You can hear it like that, and so it slows it down. And the slow down depends on how it returns. It's not good enough. And it's a certain length, so it's forms a peak in the middle, and it's like a pendulum. It swings across from side to side, and the high voltages are at each end, and the middle part is the gap. It occurs at different times of the cycle. So it's important to know that. So the idea is that you have a tube with your gas in it, which is hydrogen or an anti-deuterium beryllium, tritium would be best. You want a really good one. But you have to the high voltages are in one part of the cycle, and the low voltage high current is in another part of the cycle, and they're both important. The high voltage ionizes the gas, and then the low voltage high current compresses it and makes the nuclear explosion, which in the next cycle it pushes it back and generates high voltage again. So that's the theory. So it's quite simple. It's like a pendulum with a pusher. But you've got to get it right. Now you can know it works in all frequencies except DC, of course. For DC, you've got pulses, you get a different pulse. With the big coils, I'm aiming at 40 Henry, and that capacitor as well, so copper capacitor, and that will resonate at a certain frequency. And the first thing you do is to measure the resonant frequency. You do that with a signal generator and work out the peaking, and then you get some idea of the resonant frequency. And then you take the end of the wire into the coil and connect it to copper conductors. I've got one here. Copper tube basically, which is plugged into the end of the tube for the gas tube, and you then have a low pressure gas inside. So the copper is connected to the gas inside. That's important. And if I buy these tubes from the American company, it won't have a copper connector, so it may not work. It will work through the glass. It won't work very well. So it's better if it wasn't done like that, but it was done with a vacuum tube. But having an energy tube would do, but it has to have electrodes in it. So I could ask them to put that costs more money to put electrodes in. They'll cap at each end with a connection to the inside. And the connection on it. So that would be expensive. I did have one made, but it was much more expensive than that. That's the problem, expense. And I'm not going to have, see the energy tube that has to have a cap on each end with a conductor which is sealed in and allows connection to the inside gas. So you can't do that very easily, but that would have to be done. If you try and do it with the capacitor fully linked, it's not that good. And it burns on the glass as well. Not a good idea. So you can't do that. So the system I have is a vacuum pump. I know probably another thing I need to buy some more stages from my vacuum pump. I think the company will make it. I'm going quite mad about why I'm using multi-stage diaphragm pump. And of course the return goes down as soon as you put more stages on. And I think I need twice as many stages to get the pressure down. But it's an incremental price. I think a vacuum pump would be much better, a good one, but that increases the price. A diaphragm pump with correct power would probably be enough, which it needs to be, which is a vacuum 512. That's within the meter. Meter 1 meter 1 meter 512. I think it might be on a scale, but it's very just. And it's absolute vacuum gauge. So you just go down as low as possible. And vacuum pump, vacuum gauge is expensive. That just gives you the idea what it is. As commercial on your group, well, you wouldn't need one, but it is a suggestion. Vacuum gauge is expensive. And the cheap one break. The cheap ones break, so you can't use them. So these you have to buy ones from a vacuum gauge company for one. And even they break as well. They break if you drop them. So especially dropping. But you see, so I need two vacuum gauges for two more transfuses I'm making. And pumps, you would say to pumps, but I can't do that. Pumps are a problem because they increase the price and they've got to be powered. So they take electricity. You've got to have an output from the transfuser power vacuum pump, which will be regulated. That's not a problem. So these problems add up. So I can't go any further. But I could just run the pressure down. I can't. Let's see if I have a vacuum pump. I can't easily use hydrogen because it would leak out into the air because it does leak. It contains holes there. And it's just as good as air. And because it might work at atmospheric pressure, which goes okay, use just ordinary hydrogen gas. And that's, I can't buy hydrogen. I can't have enough hydrogen in the house to do experiments. So the air is the only thing I can use. And it does need a lot of ionization power. So the air would ionize, okay, but there's very little purity. The air itself is a nuclear field, I'm told, but it's not as good as hydrogen. So that's a problem. But I don't want it. They won't let me try with hydrogen. If I try my hydrogen, that should be done. And yeah, I went to the British Oxford, and the person knew me. And he asked me watching for something to do with hydrogen. And he probably thinks of chemical expression, but I'm not interested in any expression at all. And he probably hates me. But he knows me, so I've had trouble with him before. But he's trying to stop people having hydrogen. No, I can't have it. You can't buy hydrogen, it's very low. Unless you can get one, a very small one, size the structure bulb, that would be possible. But if they're making that size, I did discuss it with British Oxford, whether they make one. Not just for me, but if I get anywhere with it, to use that. And you still need a vacuum pump. That's the problem. It has to be 5 torr is not a high vacuum use. It's quite difficult to achieve with an ordinary vacuum pump. And I think when Uncle Arthur did it with air, he used a stirrup pump or a hand. It was actually a bicycle pump with the valves reversed, which you could buy in those days. And that's what he used. So pressure was probably not very low. I think 28 inches is the quotation for that. And you can buy hand vacuum pumps, but you've got to get rid of the leaks. Electric ones are expensive. And so hand vacuum pump. But I remember using this thing back when I was a child. I was just about strong enough to operate it, so it must be quite a small low vacuum. And you drove it for a while, you had to reapprentice the vacuum because it leaked. I seem to remember. But I was quite young at the time, and they tried to silence ever since. Because to me it's a great discovery, but the people in power don't like it. I don't know why, it's such a religious president. It's horrible work. And they may fear it because they know what it is, but it may be that they worry about losing income, etc. I think that's the problem with Nimble Scribes. Well, he attacked me not because of Jesus stuff, but because he got some money from him. And other people attack him saying that. It's bad. And it is a bad soap. So I don't know what to do. So I just try to make one which somebody else can take away and make a proper job of it. Energy tubes are possible with the plastic with the metal cap on them. It'd be like a valve, just right. That would be cheapest. And they could be commercially made. That would be possible. So you just go and buy an energy tube, there you go. And you'd have different amounts of deuterium hydrogen mixtures. It's a mixture of deuterium hydrogen. And as it processes the increase in the hydrogen, the deuterium level increases. Eventually it stops. because the energy runs out, power runs out. And that's what the electricity, the runs out. And I have to say, this one I had to do in 1950, I think it was I don't remember, but it was a glass tube about an inch in diameter. The corks, actually corks are used, which were grease and so on. I did rub buns and we had electrode from a magneto to start it. That's like a magneto. And first he pumped it down, and when it started, there was a fireball where the coil was, which is something I don't think I don't even say that. I don't know how big it was. Quite a big coil it was. It was flat and short. A round, big round thing and short. And that was the source of power. And the people who shot it were afraid, I think, basically. Slightly more steam engines took 100 years, 200 years of steam engines were used. And this has been going for some time. They keep smashing it. I think psychiatrists set up to kill it by somebody who feared that his petrol prices would be affected. That's what's more money and do good. And well, it could be useful. Obviously, the people who've got more money, younger people, would have done it by now. And I haven't heard anything being published about its construction, but it could have been. But they usually end up in a mental home. People invent things out of their mental homes because they want them. I've always done that. If you read the history, inventors are put to death, all sorts of things to happen. So, they don't understand. Oh, you cheated me, $1 million sort of cheats about. I think one of my engines, which is a nuclear engine, is being sold as a transportation device. And people think you can turn it into gold, but you can't. It doesn't do that. Anyway, so that's actually the attitude of the customers. It's always cheats about. Most of them are in the Far East, but not all of them. And those things. But I'm not cheating because I'm not selling anything. I would like some venture capital to help me make it, and then I can get it made. But at the moment I can't do anything. Any need. The people in companies don't like dealing with amateurs. You're not allowed to. It's difficult. When you get something custom made, you've got to have money, got to have creditworthiness. And they don't deal with people who are just amateurs. And as amateurs, I doesn't make money out of it. But it is the object of making money, but you've got to find it first. You've got to find the thing. I've got to have a working engine. And even then, you've got to have working. And I did ask, I ran ring up, asked Tom was online, and asked me if I'd like to investment. I said, well, I'm rather interested in people give me venture capital. Venture capital is very risky, and there's no guarantee there's any income from it. But in return, the person who puts the money up gets the company, basically, and I'll be employed. I quite happily do that. That's on an old man. And so that's about well. Commercial enterprise is the best system. And inventors who keep for themselves don't get anywhere. There's hundreds of them. So, things. Great inventions lost because the person won't reveal his interest or his work, how it works. And people don't believe this thing works, they reject him. But it appears to be just a code. Well, in fact, it's slightly more complicated than that. And it needs a hell of a lot to start it. I've got 3 in terms of structure at the moment, and the little one as well, which I might carry on. So I've got a choice. It might be more productive to get some more copper wire for the winding. But I've got 2 of them. And the other one, I think, was there's another one. There's one down there, one there. There's 3 of them. And in various stages of production. And I learn each time I make something. I learn a bit how to make the next one. And they get cheaper, actually. I found cheaper ways of doing it. But they're quite expensive. The big coil, the one on the outside, is about £26. or something like that. And the inner coil is much cheaper. It's about well, it depends on the size of the coil. The actual size of the coil gives you the frequency. The small one is much cheaper and runs at a much higher frequency. So I've got to, I don't know what frequency it runs at, I have to measure the present frequency. I can't do that. With capacity, you think you get it right, but you don't, because it's not right because of the cell capacitance. The circuit itself has capacitance. And it's complicated. And you can't use the formula if you don't know the capacitance. It does work with the formula, but it works without. And it works as a frequency. So the 50 Hertz one has to have a very big coil. But it won't be 50 Hertz as a work frequency would be. I've got no means of measuring it. At the moment I've had the thing, we're going to finish the coil first. Needs another pack. And the one on the back, it's nearly finished. It's only the one on there is finished. It's ready to test. And the other one needs just needs the pulsing system, and it's just a question of wiring it up. I need to get some socket to slide on tabs for the circuit. I can get 5mm, and there's a shock down there that serves them. And then I can fix wires onto it, and I need a little round circuit to take the connection, and that's the first stage. And then there's a firing pin. This thing has to be mounted on a lid like this, and that starts it. It's just the starter. That's the button. It's the same as a starter in the car. It's using the starter button, and the relay then closes. It was a pulse of electricity pulse, probably 400 amps pulse. It may be 1,000 amps for short time, but I can't measure the pulse. I have to use a special gauge. I've got a transient measure. You can buy basic couple ones. I've got these amp meters, but they would not give the current because they come on and off. So you get some idea of the current, but it's not very good. Because it's not actually, if I get oscillator working, it'd be accurate. And it'd be very accurate. But I did talk to my friend in Holland about the working oscillator. But these transistors are only a few pence each, and they take 400 amps. But the last time I did try and make one, but as soon as I tried doing it, it burned out. I don't know, it's only 12 volts. It's got a reasonable circuit. You need to use close soldering. I mean, I might try again. I think that could use some foil, some thinner bar. I've got some couple of sheets which are just slightly thick. Some thin foil and glue it on and stick it on the back. But you've got to start to get it stuck, and that's difficult. And so use a blow torch from the back to get the solder on. And there's only 3 connections to it, and there has to be one resistor and one mega resistor ready to line up. And I think they do make 1,000 amp transistors, which would be better. I think he said he'd bring some. Good idea. And, so I'll have a look those up as well. These things are quite cheap, so I could probably buy them for the spares on those bases. Or one of the. There's another one, I think, that's solar semiconductors, but they'd be bolt-on ones, which we used to make, and so that's a possibility. They won't be protected gate. So that's a possibility. And to make a transistor oscillator, and that would be much easier. And it's quite simple. It's just an inductive coupling. You need an extra bar to get the inductive coupling. If you measure the voltage, you get some idea how much. You use a pulse to measure the voltage up to 2 steps to get some idea how much. And you get the connection between the coupling, and that's the feedback. You don't need much of feedback. It works without any special circuits, any biasing. And it's all work. So that's right. But because you do have to bring it to get spikes, but the voltage is only 12 volts, so it shouldn't be any spikes. But the oscillator, see the low voltage, it might have spikes on it. The inductors do take those spikes on. That's okay. era. I'm getting old and tired, exhausted. I went out today. I'm very weak. I can't walk very well. And well, if I've had bubonic plague, that's not surprising because I can't recover from it. I was exposed to Ebola experimentally. I threw it off, and that was interesting too because I took some blood. No, I did recover from Ebola once, if I remember. But you know, it's just you inherit it. I know they got vaccines for it, but it would only work on people who could have the inherited capacity to be resistant. And they would recover anyway. But the death rate is only 35%, I think. It's not huge. A lot of people are dying, but not everybody. We're survivors.